Hi, King underscore Esther Wealth. That's lovely. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Hi, everyone. Hello, T Joe 3, also known as TJ Olalaya. What do you do, Season Lawyer? TJ, if you don't get done with your homework, are you done with your homework before you get on Instagram? American Keys or something. Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. I am doing well. Lady Dassy Air Braden, how are you? Thank you for asking. Where are you joining in from, Lady Dassy Air Braden? Hi, TikTok family. Hello, YouTube and Facebook family. Come on in. Say hello. Say hello when you come in. Good evening, Oladipupo. How are you doing? Y'all, this week went by pretty fast, like it was Monday yesterday. What I need to go pretty fast, thank you, Live Tour, is the cold weather. Like that needs to go. Like we are in the high 20s in Alabama. How in God's name is that possible? We just went into almost 80s last week or the week before something. Like who came? Maybe Miss Sabena came to, and so somebody came here with their weather. It's like, you can come back and get it. We don't need it, please. But anyway, good evening. Hi, everyone. Come on in. If you're just joining us for the first time, let us know what state, what city, what country. Yes, Alpha period D. It flew by really, really fast. Miss Abena, come get your weather. Like Miss Abena, come get your weather, because no, because this weather is not weathering. Come get it. We're done. T Joe, get off the Instagram and finish your homework. Hello, come get your weather, because I had 2 layers of the hat, because I love my wraps, but I had a jacket and the wrap. No, I'm not doing that. Like I left Chicago for a reason. I'm not going back to that kind of weather. So come get your weather. We ain't doing it. Yes, please. We're sorry, Miss Abena. Whatever it is we did to you, we're sorry. Please. No, we've gotten a taste of it, and we're done. There's no more. There's no more taste. What? I don't know. Y'all in Maryland, DMV area. My family lives in Boston area. Minus what? Why? But why? No, not that well. We're in bid for that. But anyway, welcome everyone. If you are, let us know what you're joining in from. If you're just joining us for the first time, just to let you know, we do this every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. Everywhere else, I don't know the time zone. Figure it out. I'm still trying to figure out why it's still cold. So y'all just figure it out. But anyway, we are on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram at Olalaya Immigration on all platforms. Subscribe, follow, share, like, all of that will be appreciated. We pride ourselves in this community, this live Tuesdays and Thursdays, and outside of that, and people gather together on our Facebook page, Instagram page, just to share in testimonies and information. We pride ourselves of being a positive community where we are. Yes, like Ms. Doctor always says, this is a safe space. As most importantly, during this period that we're going through, where there's so much anti-immigrant, y'all already know. Let me not say what I was going to say, but now more than ever, that positive space is needed, just to encourage one another and know that you've got someone going through something similar. You've got someone who can empathize with what you're going through, and zero tolerance for negativity. So, thank you. If we can help you with your immigration case, please contact our office 334-341-4475. You can also, the same number on WhatsApp, 334-341-4475. At Olalaya Immigration is on all platforms. Info@olalayalawfirm.com. we will be glad to represent you and to evaluate your case. So come on in, come on in, come on in. Hey, Miss Meriwether, how are you? Thank you for joining. Hey, girl. Wow. Yes. Well, you may not even understand what we're doing, but unless you're looking to marry a Nigerian, I was going to say I could hook you up, but no. If I could hook you up, I'd hook myself up. So let's leave that alone. But anyway, this is Attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 Samuel. I'm an immigration attorney based in Alabama, but we represent immigration clients in all 50 states. So once again, we would be glad to represent you. So let's talk immigration. I want to get to 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. One second, Mama. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, come here. If I see you, stay right there. Stay right there. If I see you, right, put one more comment on Instagram. Try it one more time. Finish that homework. Anyway, yeah. Okay, but let's talk immigration. Let's get to this. So what we're talking about tonight, immigration stories. Are they all fear tactics? Not simple. Let's talk about that. There's a lot of fear mongering going on. So many stories, so many videos. God knows if one more person sends me something, so let's talk about that. That's what let's talk immigration. Let's talk about that. Immigration stories all over the place. I wrote some things that have been going on. So let's address that. If you've got questions, we'll get a question. So if you're just joining us for the first time, our routine is we get questions at the end of what topic we discuss. Sometimes we have question nights, but there's just too much going on. I wanted to address some things. And the videos going on, people just talking about traveling. Can TSA stop you on domestic flights? Let's address all of that. So if you know anyone who has had one of those questions, because if you contact our office and like, hey, I just have one question, that one question is going to require consultation. I don't do free one questions when you contact my office. This is my version of free consultation. So if you have just that one question, this is the forum you want to ask it in. If you contact our office, no one is going to give you, because nobody can give you any legal advice outside of myself. And I'm not going to show up if you're not paying for my time. Very simple. So this is my free version of free consultation. So let's start with I can't even tell you how many people on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, whatever, or calling our office. And my girl who does our WhatsApp messages, Lydia, was like, okay, what's going on? Somebody is traveling and is saying that you can't come back to the United States with if you don't get a visa for the country you're going to visit and all that. Now, I'm not talking, I cannot verify or, deny or confirm whoever is putting videos in on their stories. That's their experience. If they say that's what they went through, then that's up to them. I can tell you what the law is and how it works. Now, keep in mind, it's one thing for you to know what the law is. It's another thing for this new administration to actually follow what the law is. Two different things. We are in uncertain times with this new administration. Everybody has seen that. Everybody, just this evening, I was catching up with the news, and because I have, I get a lot of updates in my emails and text messages I sign up for, just so I keep up with immigration stuff. Hundreds of TSA employees have been fired, and my guess, this is not something everybody, this is just my opinion. My guess is they're doing that just because they want to weed out the employees working under the Biden administration and put in their own kind of people that they would want to carry out their mission. So let's start with whether or not you need a visa in your U.S. passport to be able to travel outside the United States into whatever country you're going. please hear me loud and clear when I say this. The United States, no matter how much they want to try, cannot determine whether or not you're going to need a visa to visit a particular country. That is not within the Immigration and Nationality Act. That's outside the United States scope. There is no country that is going to, we're past slavery, I want to believe. We're past colonization period, I want to believe. There is no the U.S. government has no right to tell anyone, any country, what kind, or to dictate what you need to visit any country. That's number one you should know. Getting a visa stamp to travel outside the United States has to do with the country you are going to visit. So, as a Nigerian, and listen, we don't judge. Y'all keep your judgment to yourself. I've been told, and this is going to tell you how long I've been out of Nigeria. I've been told that you cannot even renew your passport without, is it an NIN number? What is that number? Just like a social security number in the United States. So there are some policies in place, and I haven't renewed my Nigerian passport since forever. But when you become a U.S. citizen, you do not lose your Nigerian citizenship. Nigeria is one country where they recognize dual citizenship. You're not losing unless you actually renounce and denounce your Nigerian citizenship. Nigeria accepts dual citizenship, and there's nothing the United States can do about that. NIN number. Okay, yes. So I said, okay, and I'm not presenting one of the federal right now, but that's it. So if I decide, or for everyone who goes to Nigeria, I haven't seen any Nigerian who is a U.S. citizen or green card holder who is going to visit Nigeria and has come back and said, hey, they told me that how to get a Nigerian visa stamp. No. If you have a Nigerian passport, that's how you can go into Nigeria. The same way where as a U.S. citizen coming back into the United States, you do not need a U.S. visa in your passport because you are a citizen. What allows you to come back into the United States is you showing your U.S. passport. There is no requirement for you to have a visa coming into the United States. So why would there be a requirement for you to have a visa to go back to your home country? Before everyone runs with stories, you got to analyze things. And as a lawyer, that's what I do each day of my life. You've got to analyze it. My opinion on those who are saying they're required to get, they're being stopped and they're not allowed to travel. I just don't see how you are going to say you're not allowed to get on a plane because the United States government is stopping you. It's another thing if the airline you're going on is not allowing you to board based on what the country you're going to visit has told them is required for you to come into that country. Because sometimes if an airline allows specific people to board, go into a particular country, and they do not have the right documents to go into that country, that they can be fined and it can be sanctioned. So it's possible that the airline itself is refusing to let them board because they don't have specific documents. For instance, there are some countries that do not allow dual citizenship. I know someone talked about, there was a lady from Ivory Coast or something that was going all over TikTok and all that. If you do your research, Ivory Coast is a country that does not recognize dual citizenship. Once you become a U.S. citizen, you're basically you're relinquishing your Ivorian citizenship, but there are certain exceptions. Generally, they don't recognize dual citizenship. If your home country recognizes dual citizenship, there is no way why your country is going to ask you to get a visa to come into the country. In my case, for instance, because I don't have an NIN number yet, I cannot renew my Nigerian passport. So if for whatever reason I have to visit Nigeria now, I'm going to be required to get a Nigerian visa just because I can't get a passport. And I need to have some documentation that's going to allow me to go into the country. But I can't because I haven't done what's required. So that is what I think is going on. The U.S. government has no right to tell any other country or to tell U.S. citizens that you need a certain type of visa in your U.S. passport to be able to visit it. No, it depends on what the requirements of the country you're going to visit are. That's what going to determine. For instance, now United States citizens, effective, I want to say January 8th, don't quote me on that, but it used to be that United States citizens could go to the UK for without any visa, nothing, just with your US passport. Effective January 8, 2025, the UK, just like the US has always done to the UK, where UK citizens are required to have the electronic travel authorization. The ESTA basically is coming in with ESTA. UK now requires US citizens to have an electronic travel authorization. So if you have not applied for that, which I did mine last month, if you haven't applied for that, you will, and you're going on an airline that already knows that that is the new law in the UK for American citizens, that airline is not going to allow you to board, because you've got to have that, and they pull it up they can pull it up electronically. That's what I think is going on, because the United States, I don't care what power this guy in the office thinks he has, he cannot tell another country what documents are required to come into that country. It makes absolutely no sense. Whether the people having this doing these videos, or that's their personal experience or not, I cannot speak to that. I can speak to what the law is and what makes sense. A lot of people are traveling to Nigeria. I have clients who are coming back from Nigeria with no issues. So as of today, that's what it is. When I have conflicting information where you actually have proof that the United States is requiring other countries to demand that their citizens should have visa stamps to go into that country, then that's a different story. But for today, that's what makes sense, and I'm sure you can understand how that makes sense. So let's just put a lead on that for now. TSA is basically overstepping their boundaries, and I'll tell you this is why. It's been something that has been coming up for the last 2 weeks, but I'll tell you that I've had a personal experience with that now. I've got, we've got, obviously with immigration attorneys, we've got different forums and organizations and associations. So there are about 3 attorneys now. 2 of them, they have two of them have clients who have been detained while they were trying to board domestic flights. They were detained because they could not produce proof of legal immigration status, and they were now directed and referred to ICE. ICE agents are in airports. So if you didn't know that, let me tell you that there are ICE agents in airports, and that's just what it is. Also keep in mind that TSA is part of the Department of Homeland Security. With this new administration, agencies that are normally not involved with immigration issues are given the authorization to get involved with immigration issues. Example, the Lake and Raleigh Act that was just passed, and signed into law, allows state, local enforcement agencies, not even federal agency, state, like your local police department, it now allows them to ask about immigration status. So if they are allowed to do that, why would you not understand? Well, why would you not expect that an agency like TSA, that is part of the Department of Homeland Security agency department, is not going to be allowed, given that authorization to do that? Should they do that? No. Are they doing it? Yes. And I can tell you because I have a former client whose sister is visiting the United States. Her sister is currently visiting the United States, has visited God knows how many times, never overstayed one time in her life. And she normally uses her Nigerian passport. She's got family all over the country. Going from this was in Dallas, in Dallas, Texas. Going to visit the sister. Her sister lives in a different state. Her brother lives in a different state. Her mother lives in a different state. So whenever she comes to the United States, she visits everybody, and she's done that for many, many years. This visit yesterday, she was actually asked why she's using a foreign passport as proof of her identification. She goes, because I'm visiting. Long story short, she was asked proof of her legal presence in the United States. This is not somebody told me. This is not somebody, maybe no. This is apart from my colleagues who have clients who have not been detained. I don't know what the update is on them, but this is a former client's sister who was asked. She had to call me. I was in court yesterday. I was like, okay, how do I get it? But they needed, because whenever you travel on a visitor visa now, you do not have, when you travel generally, it used to be that you could have an I-94 that you would be given on the plane and all that. Everything is electronic now. So you're not given a paper I-94 when you travel. You've got to go and find out how you can retrieve that from the Department of State website. So that's where they had to, they called me frantically like, hey, Cecilia, I might need help. What's going on? So basically what I did was TJ, quit, for real. What I did was I had to jump online, print out, pull up her I-94, print it out and email it to them so that they could show, because what happened was while the TSA agent was there, basically this woman missed her flight. She missed her flight. ICE agent got involved. When they finally got my email and they got me on the phone and letting them know, okay, she's visiting. She has an I-94 that's still valid till July 2025. That's basically why she was allowed to now go, but she missed her flight. She missed her flight, and that was very, very scary for her. She is visiting her sister, now afraid to go back to visit her mother because she has to get back on the plane again. So this is not, somebody said, this is something that was involved with myself yesterday. Are they supposed to be doing that? No. TSA has never had any business in checking immigration status. But if state law enforcement agencies have now been given the authorization to ask people whenever you have traffic stop or you're arrested about illegal immigration status, if they're going into schools, they're going into hospitals, safe havens to ask about immigration status, how much more going through federal checkpoints? Come on, let's think about that. Doesn't mean it's right, no. Because the only reason why, for instance, if this was at the port of entry, they would have been able to pull up her information easily on their computer. I don't think TSA is equipped to have that at the airport. But let me see. Let me charge my computer before it runs out. But that was the experience of my former client's sister yesterday. Very scary for her, obviously. But that's what she experienced yesterday. Confirmed experience from my colleagues whose two clients. Because there's this lady who does a lot of detained work on our group, and so she was one that everyone was trying to reach out to. They were detained based on flying domestically. So this is not trying to make people afraid. It's just telling you, be careful, be cautious about what's going on, know your surroundings. This is what's going on right now. Should it be going on? No. But these are the times we're in. So just be proactive. It's not a case of no. To know me, to know before I put anything out there, I will do my research, because there's so many things going on already. A lot of things I don't talk about because I have not been able to confirm it. But if I can tell you something, that's what we're seeing, unfortunately. So just so you know, let's see. Okay, another thing that's been going around is people saying that those who have green cards are being denied entry into the United States. I don't know, knock on wood, I don't know if any of my clients has had that issue. Now, keep in mind that people who have 2-year green cards sometimes, and have, especially when you have a pending I-751, because that green card is conditional, it's not uncommon for CBP to stop people like that, especially if you just got your 2-year green card and you're traveling for the first time, you're not traveling with your spouse. At the port of entry, they can ask to see your phone. I can't even tell you how many people I've represented that from the airport, they have 2-year green card, they check their phone, CBP thinks that, okay, it was a sham marriage, they refer them to immigration court, even with a 2-year green card. It has happened even before this new administration. It's not something new. Whether or not it's now happening now much more, that's different. But a CBP officer does not have the authorization to take away anyone's green card. That is what an immigration judge does. CBP officials have no such authorization to take away your card. So when people are saying their cards are being taken away from them, I can't. I don't know. It doesn't mean they're lying. It's just something that is not supposed to be. If you know you're right, then in situations like that, you demand that they either let you in or they're going to give you an NTA, and then they may detain you until you see a judge. But you have a right to come back in. Just the same way you've got a right to come back in if you've got a pending I-485, you're coming back into the country on advanced parole. If they try to scare you and say, hey, you're not legal, whatever, because that's also going on. But in that situation, I'm telling my clients who have to travel, do not sign any document withdrawing your request for admission. If your advanced parole document is valid, demand that you want to see a judge. Call your attorney, demand you want to see a judge. Don't sign any document to withdraw any admission, because that's what they're trying to make people do. It is crazy what's going on. There's no doubt about that. I'm not trying to, trivialize anything or minimize anything. You have to know what's going on. And if you're traveling domestically, if you're traveling internationally, if you've got a lawyer in your case, the first thing you want to do is consult with your attorney. Let them know that your attorney is in the best position to know what you have. You know your case. And each of my clients some of my clients are coming up on travels. We've gone through their documents. This is what you need to have. When you're coming back, this is my number. Make sure you text me. Make sure you email me. I don't care if it's a Sunday. I need to know you're back in the country. And if there's, God forbid, if there was a reason to contact me, I need to know who I need to call. So let's see what else. Okay. So basically, that's what's going on. Those are. And, by the way, an update on birthright citizenship. Yesterday, the Trump administration, they filed an appeal to the U.S. Court of Appeals, the Ninth Circuit. And yesterday, the Ninth Circuit dismissed their appeal because they filed an appeal. Keep in mind, yesterday was February 19. That's the date that birthright citizenship executive order should have gone into effect. They filed an appeal for the appeal court to overturn the injunction the lower court had put in place that prevented them from starting that craziness yesterday. The Ninth Circuit decided, no, the injunction is going to stay in place because we think this is an unconstitutional policy. So I expect that we're going all the way to Supreme Court. Let's pray. Let's pray. Let's pray. Because the Supreme Court is filled with Republican appointed judges. He appointed probably half of those who were there. So let's pray that God gives them the wisdom to be able to decipher and decide what is right for this nation. And that's all sure, people. So hope that helps. Hope that helps to clear things. This video is going to be up on all our platforms. So if you need to go back and review that, then you can. All right, let's go to questions. Let's go to questions. Let's see. Okay. What's the difference between unlawful presence and unlawful status? What's the difference? Disclaimer: general information. Any response to question is just general information, nothing specific to anyone's case. So don't say, "Oh, it was that lawyer that said we can do." No, that's not what I'm saying. This is just general. Use at your own risk kind of responses. Thanks for joining. Kindly like and subscribe to this channel. We very much appreciate that. We go live every Tuesday and Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. Hello, Mr. Prince. How are you? How is Citizenship Live treating you? Hello, Mr. Shida. This is my let me put his name here. That's the newest 10-year green card holder. We filed a self-petition I-751 for him that was approved, and he's already qualified for citizenship. I'm just so happy for him. just so happy for him. Mr. Shitty, do you remember when you were so scared, like, Mom, I don't think I have enough evidence? No RFA, less than 2 years. Yeah, because we filed in June. I think we filed in June 2023, if I'm not mistaken. So congrats once again. Ooh, I took a lot of advice from you before filing my vow, and now I got approved this month after 39 months. Congratulations. Thank you for watching and support. I appreciate that. I'm no longer traveling to Nigeria. There's nothing there but, okay. Anyway, this is a positive platform where we share testimonies and migration journey. Please don't hold back. Don't hold on to your testimonies. To encourage those in line waiting. Absolutely. Well spoken, Mr. Bennett. Absolutely. Paper or no paper, I'm not worried about immigration as I was a few. Okay. Congratulations, hash. We celebrate with you. I have a 10-year green card and hoping to travel to Nigeria in a few months. Please. So I've said it before, I'll say it again. If your question is about should you travel, you're going to need to direct that question to your lawyer or sit down with a lawyer that is going to evaluate your case. I'm not going to answer any question that has to do whether you can travel or not. So if your question is about whether you can travel, it's going to be skipped. Let's see. How do I renounce my Nigerian citizen? Okay, I think this person needs to be gone. Put user in timeout. I don't have time for this. Kind of like this video, which is Lars doing an amazing job. Thank you. Coming free info. Well, that's true. You can register for your NIN. I didn't approve. I know I can. I know I can. I know I don't have to go to Nigeria. I'm just saying that I have to get a Nigerian passport. I haven't renewed it in 200 years. So, and I found out that before I can renew, because the last time I had a Nigerian passport, they didn't have it, and there was no NIN requirement. It tells you how long ago that was. So I know I can do it. My whole family is here, so anytime soon. Just saying. We listen, we don't judge. Watching from Washington is when you get it. And yeah, I know. I'm aware of what I can do. The question is, do I want to do it? And there really isn't any reason right now to do it because there's no. I got extended family, but let's just leave that. Okay. Hello, Mr. Michael. How are you? I like your tats, by the way. Thank you. I got quite a few of them. As the tats immigration attorney. It's bloody art. I just love it. Love. Okay, let's go to TikTok. TJ, I'm about to ban you from my page now. If you, just one more action from you, about to get banned. You ban your own child from your page. I love that you did. Thank you. Appreciate that. I love you, Yoruba. Ain't the man from Yoruba me yet. That's come on. A lot of number. Am I eligible for my immigration bond back? I don't do bond cases, so I'm just gonna skip that. I don't even anything about bond. You have to know where your strength is. How could I receive a year work permit instead of 5 years under VA approval? How could I? There's no 1 year work. If VA C31, you file if you file a C31, it's a 2 year. I'm not sure why you want a 1 year rather than 5. I'm not sure I understand your question, Jean-Claude. Anything about the processing time, please go on USCIS.gov/processing time. It will tell you how long cases are taken to be adjudicated. Thank you for sharing, Fumi World. Can someone on asylum process kids? Can someone on asylum process? Can someone on asylum process kids apply? Okay, I think you're asking that can someone who has a pending asylum, can their kid apply for CGs? Is your child on the asylum itself? I mean, if you've got evidence where you can submit to a court, in juvenile court, because it starts in juvenile courts in your states, to show that the child can be categorized as a dependent child, and you have a predicate order that can be issued by the court. That's what you need to start from. If you're able to get evidence, if you have evidence to support that, then why not? So, but you're best to sit down with a lawyer to figure that out. Can a 2-year green card go to Nigeria now? I'm not anything about travel. Like I said, ask your lawyer or sit down with a lawyer to evaluate your specific facts. Okay. I have a pending VAL application and I have advanced for, okay. Let's see again. Can I add my kids on my pending VAL application? If your children are under the age of 21, unmarried, yes, you should have included their names anyway. So you may have even added them because there's a part on the form that will ask you for the names of your children. So if you already put their names, then they probably. So if you have a prima facie determination, your children should have already been listed on that. If your children are listed on your prima facie determination, then they're already included in your VA petition. And based on that, if they qualify, then they can also file for adjustment of status. If they're not within the United States, once your case gets approved, then you can file an I-824. Once you get your green card for the USCIS to notify NVC so they can apply for their immigrant visas. Okay, Bossman, that's what we just talked about the passport and other. That's what makes sense to me. Okay. Where y'all all even going? Even never going Lord with all these travel questions. Like y'all, I'm not even joking. Because one of my favorite things to do is to travel. If you are, if my personal page is where I put a lot of I love traveling. I love visiting other countries. It is just something that makes me happy. And I was thinking that normally I would have been somewhere by now because I'm a Jaladi traveler. I just love it. Especially when my kids, well, my oldest is an adult then. According to the government, the citizen 20 years an adult. But anyway, when teachers with his dad, especially for Motu law. Yo, we're playing anytime soon. Like, let's see what's going on. Short and hack American aviation system. Let's just see. So, I miss it, but we'll see. Okay, I think that's what we just answered. Please do not repeat your questions. After 1 year being engaged, finally married a few days ago. Congratulations. This is Save Together green card. I mean, go ahead and file. I'm hoping you married a citizen so they can file for you. But yeah, go ahead and start your case. I'm so scared to travel. I know. But one thing I would just say about traveling is this: find out if you are going to your home country, find out, and you're now a U.S. citizen, find out if your country recognizes dual citizenship. Just know how the United States is going to tell another country that, that you have to get a visa to come into it doesn't work that way. But you have an obligation, just like if you are going to a country that requires a visa, that you have to find out what the travel requirements for admission is in the country you want to visit. So, yeah. Thank you, Lady OV. Let's see. Okay. I-485 closed due to administrative decision. Kindly advise what you need to do is to sit down with the lawyer. I have a J2 status as my dad is a resident doctor. You're wondering if I can apply for an EAD to work. J2 generally can apply for work authorization. And I know that because I was on a J2. I mean, so I don't visa. I've been on all kind of visas. Lord have mercy. What about those traveling to the US on an H-1B visa? What about them? What should I do if my kids were not added on my VA application? Add them. Request that you make a request to USCIS to add them. Send in also, you can also send in an amended I-130 along with your receipt notice. But if you're not sure what to do, then sit down with a lawyer to figure it out. I'm confused after 1.9 months. I did my N4 and did nothing to update. Send them a demand letter, and if they don't respond, sue them. Can you apply for citizenship with pending I-751 when you've reached the time limit? Yes, you can. Or they were not added on your application, then you need to add them. Sit down here, US. So, well, hey. Okay. Can I join and ask questions? Everybody's been asking questions. Up and grateful. Ask your question. I didn't talk about travel bans. So, young people, see, this is how rumors start. I didn't mention anything about travel ban throughout this whole thing. So I'm not sure why you're asking a question about travel bans going into effect. There's no question. There was no discussion about travel ban. I want to join the military as a citizen, but my green card is 4 years. You can actually join the military as a green card holder and then get fast track citizenship through by joining. So because you need 1 year for the most part when you join the military. So if you have 4 years already, once you join the military as a green card holder, you can actually apply for your citizenship. Okay. Do I need to divorce my husband before signing my ex-husband divorce papers after his petition is denied? Do I need to divorce my husband before signing my ex-husband divorce papers after his petition? What? This is not a yes or no question. So, mom got her green card in 2023. She's been out of US since December 2024. Will she be okay coming back? So I think that's one of the issues people are having at the port of entry. When you apply for a green card, it's called a permanent residency card. Emphasis on permanent. If you have a green card, and a lot of people have been doing it for many years and nothing wrong, but this is a different administration. The whole point of you having a green card is that you've got the intention and you're telling the US government you're going to be living in the United States permanently. So that means that if you're outside the United States, your time outside the United States should be for a very short time because this is regarded, according to your application, as your permanent home. When people go and they're, especially when you stay 6 months or more outside the United States, which is what I think is happening at the port of entry. Probably people having the issues are those who are coming in and they're looking at it like they've been out of the country for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And they're wondering, well, you've abandoned your residency. So if your mom is going to be staying there for, my suggestion is just that try to spend more time here in the United States because you're saying you're here permanently rather than doing, because some people do like 6 months in, 6 months out. You can do that as a citizen, but not as a permanent resident because it defeats the whole purpose of you having the green card. And then most importantly, for those who know they're going to be outside the United States for more than a year, you need to apply for a re-entry permit before you leave. So, yeah, a word is enough otherwise. Okay. Yes, she needs to come back. That's my best guess of what is going on at the port of entry. Probably not there because in the under the Biden administration, like, okay, you're coming back. I had people who were like, okay, I haven't been in the country since 2 years. And my dad hasn't been out of the country for 2 years, but he wants to come back on his green card. I'm like, well, try it and see. And they'll let him in. This is a different administration. These people are very like trying to just deport as many people. Don't give them a reason to, right? I had an appointment with you last year with my ex-husband about his motion. Last year is last year. If you have more questions about that, you're going to have to set up a new consultation. But if you're talking last year, that yeah, this is 2025. And I have a consultation with so many people, so there's no how I can remember your exact case. You're gonna have to set up a new consultation. Is it true that you need a visa to travel to Nigeria even though you have an American passport? It's not about the American passport. The question is, do you have a Nigerian passport? And Nigeria is a country that recognizes dual citizenship. Unless somebody knows a Nigerian that has traveled and was denied entry into Nigeria as a Nigerian citizen with a Nigerian passport, I don't know anyone. So, but if this video is going to be up, if so you can actually go back and read. That's exactly what we talked about this evening. Okay, let's see. I-130, I-485 pending since 2021. Filed I-360 last year. USCI sent. Okay, I'm confused. I-130 and 45 pending since 2021. Filed I-360 last year. And then USCI sent I-751 receipt to spouse. Do you mean I-360 receipt? Call to request changing mailing address still unchanged online. What you do, please. It may be time for you to get a lawyer in your case, and so that your mail can be going to your lawyer's address. But you can call them again. But you can actually, what I usually say is send a written request with proof of your identity, and make sure you send it by trackable mail. Glad you clarified so many things, so many misinformation regarding traveling as a dual citizen. I've been in the U.S. for over 29 years, never seen so much fear. And you're right. It's unfortunate because that's what they want to achieve, right? But we can't let fear overcome faith. Fear can cripple you, so you just have to hang in there and just when in doubt, just consult with a lawyer so you can get accurate information. Okay, I don't do hypothesis a lot. If you want to ask a question, ask a question. The work permit receipt, I mean, okay, the I-765. Okay, got it. Mother had a VAWA case, but she's outside of U.S. How can she get help to apply for VAWA petition? She had a VAWA case and she's outside of U.S. Well, if the abuse happened in the United States, she was in the United States when the abuse happened, and she's married to a citizen or green card holder, or are you talking of a mother of a U.S. citizen? What exactly? What do you mean by mother? Mother of this U.S. citizen who was abused by that child? Someone she was married to somebody. What is the situation? All right, let's go here. Let's go on Instagram. Okay, here we go. Very well. Olale, God will strengthen you. Amen. Thank you. Oh, Lady Dancing Air Brady from New Jersey. Welcome. How cold is it in New Jersey? You're probably freezing. If we're freezing here, y'all are probably in the freezer already. Like y'all just done. Already in the freezer. Hello, Miss Lucy. How are you? Hello from Columbus, Ohio. Thank you for joining. Your hair drew me to your page and I got hooked. Thank you. Whatever draws you, that's fine. Just come on in. And he sent this child of mine to Canada, I'm telling you. Tomorrow's going to be 22 degrees. Ms. Abena, come get your weather. I like, anything with the like wash it. Don't listen, we don't judge. That's one thing. That's probably the only thing I love about summer, because it's always hot. If you live in the South, you know it's hot. But I love summer dresses. Like, it's like less clothing, so which is always good. But listen, we don't judge. We have nowhere to run to Windy City for life. I lived in Windy City for 3 years. When you experience winter time in Chicago, I love Chi-Town. I just love it during the summer, because once you've experienced Chi-Town winter, no, not doing it. Maryland isn't bad. No, I'm not doing it. Just not doing. New Jersey weather is erratic. Oh, okay. It's Ms. Ben, y'all are not freezing. You're frozen already. Y'all are freezing. Just don't know. Joining from Boston. Welcome. I appreciate everyone tuning in and taking time. I really do appreciate that. We also pray for each other and encourage. Yes, we do. So, yes, we do. Grace unspeakable one. Thank you. Love that. Okay, TJ's in trouble. He knows when it's time to quit. We're just no. He's my kid is my biggest fan. He is. That's my baby. That's my baby boy. Okay. We are your legal representative. Let's see. I don't want to miss anyone's question. Okay. You're welcome, Mr. Latimos. It is well. It is well, and it shall be well. TJ, better not let the African mother out of. She was about to be out because quit. No, we know when to stop. If you're out there, I can't even imagine it. Some unscrupulous people spreading it. I can't. No, to each their own. But I can tell you what I know and what I've experienced. So, and the whole point of doing this is so you are aware and you have that information. Okay. So that's whoa boy. That's what we just talked about. So this video will be up, so you can actually send it to people, so that if the explanation and analysis helps them. Yeah. Do you take NIW appeal cases? No, I do not. Let's see. Okay. Is it okay to add my minor child under 18 to the I-130 petition? I thought this can only happen if mom's green card has been granted. Is it okay to add your who's add the child? Who's adding the child? I mean, if you're filing an I-130 petition, then you already must be a green card holder or a citizen. I'm not sure I understand your question. What do you mean? Is it okay to add my minor child under 18 to the I-1? You can't add someone to an I-130 petition if the petitioner is a citizen. Everyone would have their own separate I-130. If the petitioner, if the beneficiary, if the petitioner is a citizen and the beneficiary is an immediate relative, every beneficiary will need their own individual I-130. If the petitioner is a citizen or green card holder, but the beneficiary is not an immediate relative, then that person can have derivative beneficiaries. So you've got to explain exactly where you're adding the minor child, what exactly, or how the parties are, who are the parties in your case, so I can understand what you actually mean by adding your child under 18. It's just not the fact that your child is under 18 doesn't mean the child can be added to an I-130 petition. Who's the petitioner? Are you the petitioner? Are you the beneficiary? What is the situation? So this is Ms. Doris. Hey, Ms. Medina, how are you? It's been a long time. Okay. Can an individual who entered the United States without a visa file Form I-360 and I-485 adjustment of status concurrently? If you came in without a visa, you came in illegally, and that entry is the only entry you had illegally, and you married to the abusive spouse is a citizen, yes, you can file concurrently. If your abusive spouse is a green card holder, you have to wait until the priority date becomes current before you can file the green card application. And let me go a step further. I have clients who actually came in without inspection. I can think of 3 off the top of my head right now that they actually do have even advanced parole. One of them went home for Christmas after 29 years. For 29 years, she's not been out of the United States because she came in without inspection and could not travel, didn't qualify for anything. The abusive spouse had filed an I-130 for her, but by the time they filed an I-485, being advised wrongly, USCIS denied the case because she didn't have legal entry, then became a victim of domestic violence, filed the case for her. She was doubtful that she could travel. She went home for Christmas, came back shortly before this person was sworn in recently. And the prayer she sent in an email to me was like, that's a prayer that last your lifetime, because she said, for almost 3 decades, I have not left the United States. People she had not seen in 29 years, she finally saw them. That's why I do this work. So if that's your case, then yes. So if it's not more than 1 illegal entry, then you still can be eligible for concurrent filing and adjustment of status without having to leave the country. The petitioner is my son and is citizen. Okay, so your son is filing for you, Miss Doris, right? Let's go. Hold on. Let me see. I posted my question on the question. No, I don't go in the question box. Your question has to be in the comments. No, no, you can repost it, but because I won't get to, so repost it there. Miss Doris, so I can just be sure. Miss Doris, if you're still there, so your son is the petitioner, obviously over the age of 21 and a citizen. He's filing for you. So are you asking whether or not, I'm assuming you have another child that is, how old again? 18? Okay. And you have another child that is 18 years old. And if you want to join in, you can send me a video request, and you don't have to show your face, but so if that's a lot easier for you to explain. But I'm assuming you have another child who's 18 years old, correct? $15. Okay. So here's what I think is going on. You have a child who is a citizen over the age of 21 or 21 years or older filing for you. And then you have another child who is 15 years old, the sibling of your son who's filing for you. Your question is, are you able to include that 15-year-old in the I-130 that your son, the citizen, is filing for you or has filed for you? Is that your question? Yes, no? I want to be an American citizen. How much do I have to pay American government for? I'm not sure I don't know how much you have to pay the American government. And I don't have the phone number to the White House. You may want to ask them there. Yes. Okay. So you cannot include your 15-year-old in the I-130 petition. The reason being, your petitioner, the petitioner is a citizen, and you are an immediate relative. Immediate relatives are parents, spouses, and children under the age of 21 of U.S. citizens. So if your son filing for you, the only one who can benefit from the I-130 that your son, the citizen, is filing for you is you. You cannot have immediate relatives, do not have derivative beneficiaries. So you cannot add your 15-year-old and for that 15-year-old to benefit from the filing by your citizen son. You can't do that. However, when you get your green card, then you can turn around and file for your 15-year-old child. Whether or not if the child is here and the child is not in any status, then that child is not going to be able to get their green card in the country unless and until you yourself become a citizen for 5 years after you get your green card. And if that child is still under the age of 21, then they become an immediate relative and can apply for the green card. If the child is over the age of 21 when you become a citizen, then they will have to leave the country to apply for their green card. I hope that helps. Yeah. I-130 is yet to get to priority date. Okay, let me go back here. As a recently naturalized citizen who had filed I-130 for spouse abroad while as a green card holder, kindly advise, should I-130 be upgraded to spouse of U.S. citizen? Will it make you need to notify USCIS that you're now a citizen, because the waiting period usually for citizens for immediate relatives is shorter than preference category. That's number one. Number two, the waiting period at embassies also for immediate relatives is shorter than preference category spouses. So based on those two reasons, I would suggest that you let USCIS know that your status has changed, because their classification is going to change as well. Let's see. Abuse case that forced my mother to leave. Unless she has a consultation with me, I can't tell you whether mother is currently married to U.S. citizen veteran. Okay. So if the person being in the military, that can be because there are exceptions to you filing for someone who's not in the country. The exceptions to when you can file and someone is serving, the person the abuse happened in the country, so your mother would need to set up a consultation. So I can't tell you whether I can help her or not without having to evaluate her case first. Okay. All right. So, okay. All right, people. We will pick back up on Tuesday. Alrighty. Thank you. What is the issue with green card and not being allowed to know? There's no, well, this video will be up too much. Anyway, okay. As we all have seen, there are so many stories, so many fear-mongering things going on. Some truth to them, some kind of thing. But before just be sure to do your research. Everybody can go and do some research. Google is not always the best, but you can start from there. When in doubt, sit down with a lawyer and get the information. Even as immigration attorneys, we don't know everything. I do research every single day of my life. For no reason. I just gave up on killing and dying because he's going to be white all over again. Because I'm going to continue doing the darn research. That's what that's what I'm coming in my life to. So do your research. There's a whole lot of information out there. Just verify. If you're not sure, then, for instance, it makes a big difference when you take time to consult with a lawyer. I'll give an example. I met with a couple today. They they tried to do things on their own, and the first person that advised them to do things told them that because they had indicated in a petition that the husband submitted that they're in the United States and they're going to be applying for adjustment of status in the United States, that was sufficient enough for them to stay and not have to maintain any status. And so they just had to wait until the priority date became current so they filed the green card. They met with me today because one of the things that they thought was going to help them was denied last month. Met with me today, and I told them the reason why the petition that was approved says that you're going to be adjusting status in the country is because you selected that option. That wasn't because USCIS gave you any reason to stay. That was the option you selected. So whoever told you that allowed you to stay just gave the wrong information, because what allowed you now to stay is you being able to prove to USCIS that you would maintain status up until you file your green card. Unfortunately for them, based on that wrong advice, they decided to let go of it, filing an extension. They were out of status for a while. Finally submitted their green card application. But I told them, like, it's going to be expected. You're probably going to be denied because you were already out of status before you filed it. So it is very, very crucial. Even if you're going to self-petition or do your DIY, sit down with a lawyer, just get basic information about how to go. And then that can help you determine whether or not it's something you can move forward with yourself. So that's aside, that's the legal part. The God part of it is this. It doesn't matter how many policies they want to put out there. They can put policies till Jesus comes back. The one thing I know for sure is that there is no error with anybody. You being here in the United States is not accidental. It's not something God didn't know before you came here. And the same God that has straightened the path for many, many immigrants before you, every crooked path in your journey is going to be straightened by God. It doesn't matter how windy it looks, it will be straightened. He started that work in you. You and your family members, you shall not be disgraced back home. You will be here to enjoy that which he has brought you here for. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 by your right side, but they shall not come near you. Only with your eyes will you behold the reward of the wicked. If God says this is where your destiny is, let them make the policies till Jesus comes back. You will be that which he has ordained for each and every one of us will be fulfilled. There is no one making any laws that God has not given his breath to be able to breathe and live. So therefore, the heart of the king is in his hands. Whoever is going to make decisions regarding our lives, it is without a doubt that whatever it is that has to favor us is what will be decided, in spite of whether that's their intention or not. So whatever the enemy thought what they were doing they meant for evil, God would turn it around for your good, and would continue to have testimonies each and every day. Wait for your own testimonies around the corner. Don't let any of these policies or whatever's going on dissuade you or make you live in fear. Remember that fear and faith cannot coexist. I'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.